Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shaostoul and this is another tutorial for modding space engineers. In this episode we'll be covering LOD models as well as referencing information on Hrog's info page. So we're going to go ahead and open up that page, and what we're looking for is the scene layout information. So we're going to go over to the left and just click on scene layout and scroll down just a little bit. Here we can see this picture that is letting us know what belongs on what layer. We know that the main model goes on layer 1, collision layer 2, mount points layer 3, and mirroring layer 4. Now the reason I didn't cover this picture for those is because it was a single layer. But for level of detail and construction phases, it uses multiple layers. For level of detail or LOD, it uses layers 6, 7, and 8, which correspond with 1, 2, and 3. So a quick way to explain it is the main model is layer 0 in this example. So it's going to go layer 0, which is the closest you can be to the model. So say you're standing right next to it looking at the terminal. Now you start running down the hallway and you're, I think it's 4 blocks away, and it goes to layer 6. So now it already cuts out some of the polygons, which are going to be using up your graphics card, and then you get further away and it uses layer 7 and then layer 8. But for this model we're just going to use layer 1 or 6 to actually make a single LOD model, since it's simple enough. So we're going to go ahead and open up Blender, and here you can see we have the mirroring still there. So we're going to go to just layer 1, select our main model, duplicate it, move that to layer 6, and go to layer 6 to edit. Now, as you can see, there are some pieces on the model that are already really simple, which is this panel here and the base. So we're going to go ahead and hide those like that. Now, these back pieces are just a rotated version of this essentially. So I'm just going to delete those and just duplicate and rotate it backwards. Also, I want to make sure I cut this in half, that way I can cut some of my development time. So I'm just going to loop cut there, there, and there. Go to this backwards view of it. I'm going to go to wireframe, box select everything on this side, scroll in, and box select everything on that side. And we're pretty much where we wanted to be. I'm going to start by lowering the poly count on this. So cursor to selected, and I'm going to select every other of these and delete, and then just bridge the edge loops. Oops. And then I put the cursor there so I can select this inner circle, extrude, and scale down. And then I want to do this arm here. So I'm going to go ahead and just select every other, delete. And I'm going to do the same to this top. So I like using circles that are divisible or multiples of 4 because it always gives you a top and a bottom to work with. So here, top and the bottom, and the left and the right. So as long as you're using one that's of 4, you should always have that. So if it's 4, it's going to be a diamond. If it's 8, it's going to be an octagon, and so forth. Alright, get that one done. Line select. And I'm just going to line select all that. And mark sharp. I'm going to do that for these pieces as well. mark sharp. And I'm going to hide those to get them out of the way. Alright, so to make these, I'm actually going to make the sphere. Put the cursor in the center, UV, rotate it 90 degrees, and then I'm going to scale it down, go into wireframe, and I want to find a vertice that is next to another vertice, so I can actually snap it to be the actual size of the previous sphere. I also want to do a loop cut here because our sphere doesn't actually have a loop cut there. So go ahead and do that. Delete the center piece and the rest of that. I'm going to go over here, delete the extra part of the sphere we have. So it ends here now. And I want to scale this up just a smidgen. And then extrude, scale it down. And I don't want to do this purple piece here. I'm just going to go ahead and move on. So delete all that. I want to select the low poly portion, extrude and scale. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate the circle. And I'm going to follow this vertice down to there because that's my active one because it's white. Make sure the cursor's at selected and scale it down. Extrude it over. Now I'm going to follow it up. I'm going to delete this high resolution one right here. And I might as well do the same for this. Alright, so I want to select that, and I want to follow that vertex to there, duplicate, cursor selected, and scale it up. Oops. I guess I did scale it all the way up. Yeah, we can see the little orange dots there. Alright, so now we want to extrude it over. Oops. And extrude over again. Select the vertice, cursor to selected, and scale it down. And delete that. Alright, so now we need to make some of those caps. And we're just doing that by cursor to selected, extruding, and scaling it down to 0. Unhide everything. In here we can see that we're pretty much where we want to be. I'm going to hide this panel again. Select everything. Control M plus. Cursor to center. And I'm going to duplicate and mirror it on the X. I need to recalculate the normals. And then bridge this inner loop here. I'm going to delete these loop cuts. That way I can get even more of a low poly count. And then I'm going to go ahead and select this. And then I'm going to rotate it. I think it's 165 degrees. Yeah. And I'm going to rotate it 45 and 45. Now I need to do the sharp edges. So I'm just going to select all those real fast. And I need to do these ones. Alright. Oh, looks like I missed these top ones. Alright, unhide everything. Remove all doubles just in case. I need to smooth it because we can see these edges here. This is because the faces need to be flipped or recalculated. And it looks just about where we need it. I need to make sure all the colors match up to the original model. So I'm going to go and select these. And I'm going to mark dark, dark, and this is our purple emissive line. And that should be exactly how we wanted it. Alright, and now another step is we need to redo the UV map. You can see it's all messed up down here. But we don't want to mess up the panels. So we're going to unselect those and then unwrap Smart UV project and just there. And that's pretty much everything that we needed for this. And I can move on to the next video. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you in the next one.